Welcome to the Explainer. Sometimes the simplest questions have the most fascinating answers. And today we're tackling one of those. When you own a company, what do you actually own? Okay, let's make this super practical. Imagine you've started a business. You are the one and only owner. You've got 100% of the shares. The company goes out and buys a brand new laptop. So, is that your laptop? I mean, can you just take it home, give it to your kid for their homework, maybe sell it online? Your gut reaction is probably, yeah, of course it is. But you might be surprised to hear that, legally speaking, the answer is a hard no. And figuring out why, well, that uncovers one of the most powerful ideas in the entire modern world. So, right here, we've got this intuitive puzzle. And to solve it, we really need to get our heads around a core legal idea: how the law itself sees a company. And this is the clash right here. On one side, you've got your gut feeling, the simple logic. You own the company owns the laptop, so it's got to be your laptop. But on the other side, there's this really strict legal rule. The laptop belongs to the company, and the company is not you. Okay, so to really get why there's this legal line in the sand, we have to look past the laptop for a second and ask a more fundamental question. What is a company share anyway? When we think of property, our minds usually jump to physical stuff: a house, a car, a book you're holding. But a share, it's just not like that. You can't physically touch it or hold it. It's in this special category that lawyers call intangible property. All right, buckle up for a bit of legal jargon. The technical term for this is a chose in action. Now, that sounds super complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. All it really means is that you own a right that you can go to court to enforce. So a share isn't the property itself, it's the legal right to claim a stake in that property. Here's an easy way to think about it. Owning a coffee cup? Simple. It's yours. You can hold it, you can drink from it. But owning a share is totally different. It means you own a bundle of rights, like the right to vote or the right to get dividends. To put it simply, you own the claim, not the cup. So where on earth did this kind of weird idea come from? Because it wasn't always like this. This whole concept was actually locked into place by one landmark legal case, a case that completely changed the world of business forever. Seriously, the entire structure of modern business, everything from a small startup to a massive global corporation, it all hinges on one single, really powerful legal idea. And here it is. In the eyes of the law, a company is its own person. That's right. It can own property, it can sign contracts, it can even sue or be sued in court, all by itself, completely separate from its owners. Now, this whole idea was officially cemented way back in 1897 in a really famous English lawsuit called Solomon's Case. See, there was this guy, Mr. Solomon, who sold his business to a company that he himself created and owned. But then the company went bankrupt. So the court had to decide, are Mr. Solomon and his company the same thing? The court's final answer was a resounding no. They are separate. And that single ruling became the bedrock of all modern corporate law. And that's the direct fallout from Solomon's case, because the company is its own legal person. It owns its own property. The shareholders, yes, even someone who owns 100% of the company, they just don't. So what this legal principle does is it creates what we can think of as the Great Divide, this invisible but very real wall between the owner and the company's actual stuff. Let's picture it. There's you, the shareholder, on one side, and over on the other side are all the company's assets: the laptop, the office building, the money in the bank. And right down the middle, separating you two, is this legal barrier that's often called the corporate veil. Okay, so if you don't own the stuff, what do you actually own? Well, you own that bundle of rights we were talking about earlier. You own the right to have a say in how the company is run, you own the right to get a cut of the profits, and you own the right to get a piece of whatever's left if the whole thing has to be shut down. But, and this is the key takeaway, you never own the stuff itself. See? It all comes back to this one simple idea. A company is a singular thing, one single separate legal person, totally distinct from its owners, its employees, its directors, everyone. It sounds so simple, but it's this profound concept that makes everything else we've talked about possible. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get it, it's a neat legal trick, but why does this seemingly strange, abstract idea matter so much? Why is this the foundation of our entire economy? Well, it matters because this separation is basically a corporate superpower. Think about it. It means a company can live on long after its original owners are gone. It means you can easily buy and sell ownership, a tiny piece of Apple, for example, just by trading a share, without having to worry about owning a tiny piece of every single iPhone. It's the engine that allows thousands, even millions of people to pool their money and build these massive, world-changing businesses. So, we've established that this legal wall separates you from the company's property. That laptop isn't yours. But here's the thing. That wall works both ways, which leads us to a really critical final question. If you're separated from the assets, what about the company's debts? What does this wall actually protect you from? And that is a thought I'll leave you with.